What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on, y'all? So we are back again for another episode review of Power Book 2 Go Season 1, Episode 7, Sex Week, okay? So let's get right into it. Oh, once again, if y'all hear me, girl, sinuses. And I hope you can hear me, okay? But anyway, so the episode starts off with this preacher, and it seemed like his understudy, what looked like his son probably, or somebody. I don't know what y'all call the person that's right underneath the preacher or whatever. But anyway, they was at some church, and going over the collection plate and talking about how I guess they got a lot of money in this service, and the light skinned boy was talking about how, or I should say the young boy was talking about, well, you talk about hell, that's when everybody want to start donating stuff or whatever. It always happens. And so they in there doing what they doing. Next thing you know, here comes some dudes busting in, taking all the money. Who the dudes are? Kane and his crew. Kane and two other dudes in his crew. And I'm just sitting here like, oh boy, here we go. Kane is going off the rails right about now because Monet has not told him to do this. His daddy didn't tell him to do this. So he's doing this on his own. He's making moves on his own because he is pissed off. All right. He didn't got the money from the collection plate. He didn't got the money from the ATM. The fact that it is a freaking ATM inside churches these days blows my mind because I know it's in a lot of churches, okay? I never thought I'd see today. But anyway, moving on from that, they shooting at the little light-skinned boy because, or I should say the young boy, and I think he tried to shoot at them. Girl, it was just a mess. I seen y'all doing all of this up in the Lord's house. In the Lord's house. We're not supposed to be doing this, okay? What is happening here? They up there trying to shoot young boy, wind up shooting the other dude in the crew that was with young boy, and it was just a whole mess, all right? And so we get from that scene to Tariq being in class, and you got Jabari, Professor Jabari, and Professor Milgram, and the other professor, the white professor, up in there, and they're basically about to announce the 5 students that are eligible in the semifinals for the canonical fellowship study. Now, with this, if you get this fellowship in this canonical studies, you are able to graduate at least a year early. I think it's a year early. So Tariq is trying to get out of school as soon as quick. You know what I'm saying? He trying to do the requirement that he needs to do in order to get this money. And then he's trying to get up out of there as soon as possible. And so we got light-skinned Keisha. First of all, light-skinned Keisha, the fact that she got a part on this, I am loving it, okay? And she's every bit the ghetto girl, but that goes to show you that just because you may think somebody is quote-unquote ghetto, that don't mean that they're stupid, and she's showing you that, all right? So she was chopping it up with some dude that was trying to chop it up with her. She keep on blowing him off while they in the middle of trying to announce who the finalists are, the 5 finalists are. Some dude pop up in there throwing condoms around, talking about his sex week, this, da da da. And so, the dude gonna pick up the condo talking about some, you forgot something, or this what we gonna do. She said, girl, please, this is for people with money and NBA players and stuff only. That's what this is for, okay? And talking about some, she finna go to the Q party, and they explained what Sex Week was. It was just a week that the school had put in place years ago to, let the students get to know their bodies and just for educational purposes. And now they done turned it into where, we finna fuck all week, okay? And this is just the week known that we finna fuck all week, And so, of course, the teachers, the professors let their disdain for the parties and the debauchery that's going to go down, be known, especially the white professor, the older one. And just said, if you go to these parties and you do what you're going to do, just strap up. So we find out who the 5 finalists are. Light-skinned Keisha was the last person named called. We got Ashley Fitzgerald, the white girl. We got another one. Lauren was called, and Tariq was not one of them, okay? So he was upset. So when he leaves the classroom, Professor Milgram is trying to talk to him and, tell him what's going on and saying if you need to talk about how you're feeling and understand the reason why you were not picked, to let me know. And he just didn't really want to talk about it because she knew that he was counting on graduating early and he just didn't make it. And so while she was talking, she had her hand on his arm, okay, but it was in a I'm here for you kind of gesture. I understand that you're upset type of way. It wasn't in a sexual way or anything like that. Jabari, on the other hand, he walked past and he's looking with a real pissed off. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. You up here trying to give my pussy away to somebody else, especially these little young kids up in here. That's what he was looking like, all jealous and everything, confronting her in the office. And, it looked like some sexual stuff. I said, Jabari, sit down. All right. Mind you, I'm sitting here like, Jabari, you gave Tariq that whole speech about, having to show up and be different and be so much better because you're a black man and all this stuff. You don't want these negative stigmas on you. And yet you went and plagiarized your new book by taking from his paper. Okay? You literally did that. And you up here talking about your book to old girl. She don't give a fuck. Like, Jabari, you just need to go somewhere. Meanwhile, back at Monet Place, back at Monet Place, they trying to figure out what's going on with Drew. Okay? What is going on with, not Drew, but what is going on with, Kane? Because Drew and Diana sitting there talking about what's went on with Kane, that whole situation. And, hold on. Oh yeah, what was going on? I'm sorry. What was going on with that whole situation, where he's at, and then of course Monet come in trying to figure out what's going on, and we found out that he hasn't spoken to Monet. She already know that he didn't went to go see his daddy because that's him. That's what he does. As soon as something go wrong and it don't go his way, he go run up there to his daddy. And so they don't know what's going on. Now they realize that he's off the handle because no one heard from him. And of course Monet has to call Big Papa in jail. And, he told him, I told him what I would normally tell him, that you're in charge, don't put your fucking hands on him, and to listen to you. And that's basically it. So now we got a whole problem on our hand with Kane. Like Ramirez said, we need to put that bitch on the goddamn leash. And I don't want to talk about putting people on leashes, but we need to reel him in. And at this point, after getting his ass beat up in prison by having his the guards do that on his father's command, like, he pissed off. So, he finna be messing up some stuff. Meanwhile, Tariq then came back to the dorm. Why is Riley and Brayden up in there having sex? And I guess, she saying that his technique of giving head is a little bit better. I don't even care about that. She keep on bragging on him about where you were. I know Tariq telling you to lie. Of course, Brayden ain't gonna tell her nothing. But when Tariq, I'm only mentioning this part because when Tariq came in, he said, why the fuck is she here? He was like, I thought you was supposed to come in. Well, you're supposed to come in this time. Okay, fine. He said, y'all two laying up in that bed looking like two raw ass chicken cutlets. Bitch. That shit took me out. Two raw chicken cutlets. I said, Tariq, you ain't have to do them like that. You really did. So then we get Tariq going to Zeke's room to give him his goddamn paper, okay? Zeke still doing his work for him. And Zeke up in there, got a little Philly up in there, okay? So whatever. Meanwhile, this whole thing with the app, it's not going according to plan anymore because they have run out of product, all right? And there are orders that are being piled up because the shipment is low right about now. And then we get Stern's little boy toy, his husband, who is in business with Tariq, is coming in there trying to understand what's going on and trying to basically put a little fear in him, like, you need to get this stuff together or shit is just going to go bad for you, Tariq, all right? And then gonna throw in a little tidbit of information that we really did not know, talking about some Stern was the one that started Q Week, that's Whole Week and all that stuff. And I was like, ew, okay? And that's, so he had to figure out what's going on with that. He tried to call Monet, trying to get an understanding of, where the shipment at. Monet trying to tell him, listen, the shipment is low right now. It's some other factors that's coming into play, so you just gotta hold on. When I know something, you will know something. Just, hold the fuck up, okay? I can't do what I don't have with what I don't have at the moment. So what's going on is she's about to go meet up with this dude that's supposed to do the shipment, that's supposed to do the re-up or whatever. And that's why she wanted Drew to come with her. And really what really happens is Kane usually goes. But since nobody knows where Kane at, so they are in a pickle. That's why Drew has to take the place. And so Diane goes out and she goes to look for Kane, and she goes to this girl's house. And of course they had a little bout going back and forth, shading each other. And she was like, bitch, I know she here. I know he here because you can't afford shit that you got on. Only thing that you can afford is that Capri Sun in your hand. I said, bitch, you ain't have to do it like that. And of course Kane was upstairs, okay? And so he come downstairs and she basically telling him, first of all, she was startled by the way his appearance looked because he has bruises on his face from when he got his ass beat. And so, trying to understand what's going on with him and make sure that he knows that she is on his side. And he was like, regardless of what's going on, you need to come back to the house. Get back. This is how you get back into the family. Mama wants you to come back. Everything is okay. We just want you to come back home. Quit playing so much or whatever. He was like, okay, listen, I ain't finna come home, but I'll be at the drop, When that happens, I'll be there. Just don't tell mama where I'm at. So, of course, Diane going there, making known that she knows where Kane is at, but that she's not going to tell because he needs to trust somebody in his family. I was like, oh, y'all is, Miss Diane, she not getting scared of Monet no more a little bit. You know what I'm saying? She vocalizing her feelings and everything or whatever, And Monet kind of respected, okay, bitch, go do what you got to do. All right, that's what you going to do. That's what you going to do. Meanwhile, we got Davis coming in there to see, what's his name? Saxe. And at first, like, after looking at last week's episode and the way that Saxe was acting, and rejecting David's calls and stuff, you was thinking, I'm thinking that, Davis kind of plays Saxe, and so therefore Saxe is like in his feelings and don't want nothing to do with Davis. But in reality, after looking at this, they're still on the same page. Everything is going off. Well, Saxe was pissed off last week, and the reason why he was not trying to be bothered with Davis is the fact that I is pissed off at him because, he needs to make it seem like he's trying to win the case even though he's trying to throw the case. That's what's going on. He's trying not to put Tasha in jail. He's trying to get her off, but he want to make it seem like he is, So that's what's going on. And him and Davis are still working together. And so while they going through that, back and forth, he was like, we need to come up with a witness that can point that Tasha on my side can say that Tasha was the queen pin because that is what the state prosecution and the Saxe side is trying to pin on Tasha. Trying to say that, yeah, she can't be the queen pin because, of, you can say that she knows about the business, but it was somebody else that was running it. That's what they want him to say. And then for David's side to basically say, she ain't had no involvement with anything, and they need somebody that's mutual that can do that. And they was running down the list of all the people, and they was like, nope, nope, nope. And then Saxe came up with one person. Paz. I said, girl, I thought we was through with Angela and her people. Once she got down in that grave and, we figured out all that stuff, I ain't think we would see Paz again, girl. Paz said, listen, I didn't put all that shit behind me. I ain't got nothing to do with this. Saxe made it so that you do have to come in. She said, listen, I spoke to Tasha. Tasha ain't tell me nothing about what was going on with no murder or nothing like that. Well, that's all you need to get on the stand and say. Man, Paz is over it. But, he's making it impossible that she can't say no, so she got to do her thing. One person that I am over already, Miss Professor Milgram. Why are you doing this to yourself? Professor Milgram is in that fucking Zeke. Now, the last time we seen her and Zeke, they did it in the bathroom of a restaurant, okay? In the bathroom of the restaurant. And that was, like, random as hell, okay? They didn't had no prior communications making it seem like they really wanted to be with each other like that. Baby, I guess they said, listen, it was so good up in that bathroom, let me put it in the bed, okay? and he don't want to go to the Q parties and stuff like that. And he was like, why do I need to fuck around with them hoes when I got a real woman right here? And I said, because that ain't your woman. This is not for real, baby. I said, Professor Milgram is going to crush that little boy heart, okay? Going to crush him in two, baby. He is not ready, all right? And so at this point, she was like, no, I want you to go to the party so that it won't look suspicious on her part, because you know she's still a teacher and all that stuff. I said, girl, you really putting your life and everything on the line for this dude. Granted, y'all of age, but it's still a reputational thing that you fuck students. Girl, I'm so mad that I went to a school that didn't have nan fan teacher up in there. Girl, I'm so mad. I ain't had nan crush on none of my professors. On none of my professors. I'm so mad. Male or female. It just pissed me off. Then you got Tariq in his room after he get off the phone or whatever. You got Braden's brother coming there, Trace, looking for Braden, and of course Tariq gotta tell him you need to go somewhere, because Tariq is pissed off because he's getting all these alerts about new pending requests for the tutoring stuff or whatever for the drugs, and he can't fill them at this moment. And then for Trace to come up in there, he just over the whole thing, and the fact that Trace stole from him, and the fact that he has not to pay him back yet. And so Trace, you know, he acting all big and bad, like I can call the cops if you do this or whatever, because Tariq threatened to have that big black nigga come back on his ass. And of course, you know, Tariq is like, you can call the cops all you want to. The cops work for us, okay? And, you know, I have an alibi. I won't be touched. Your brother's the one that's going to go down. Because I was in here playing chess with Riley. And he was like, oh, yeah, you was playing chess with Riley or whatever, if that's chess with Riley, if that's what you really think it is, okay? I don't know what type of arrangement y'all got going on, you, my brother, and Riley, but it's a little sick, okay? Just like when I seen your ass, her coming out the room, my room, when you was at my party or whatever, and you was passed out, because whatever y'all did up in there, I even changed the sheets. Now, last week, Riley tried to bring up the fact that she almost drugged Tariq, but she got interrupted. You know what I'm saying? And now it's being brought up again. And Tariq at this point is confused because he like, I was never in no room with Riley. What are you talking about? Because Trace think they had sex. Tariq can't remember anything. So that's going to come into play. So then we get the professor, you know, she just got through taking her shower. She wants Zeke to go in there and take his shower. While he in there taking the shower, or before he can even turn the water on, somebody come knocking at the door. They thinking it's takeout or whatever. Bitch, why is it Jabari? Jabari trying to get with Professor Milgram and get that groove on. This what we always do. We get angry at each other, we fight, and then we make up. This what we always do. She was like, no, boy, I told you that I wanted to put a stop to this. Like, we can't be doing nothing outside of the work stuff, okay? You supposed to help me with this work that I got. Oh, I shouldn't have picked with this. It turned my face red. You was gonna help me with the work that I need to do for the students and all that. Because the next book that they reading is the 48 Laws of Power, okay? And so he had the little hand cards or whatever that he wanted, she needed to get to the students and all that. And she was like, bitch, we gonna do this tomorrow, okay? Just bring it to the classroom tomorrow. That's what you need to do. He pissed off because all of a sudden he hears some water turn on, because he's not understanding, baby, when somebody says no, especially anybody, no means no, okay? She don't want you right now, so let it the fuck go. So he hear the water come on, and then he goes and turn and look at the TV. It's sports highlights going on, because Zeke was sitting there looking at the sports stuff. And so he like, oh, so NBA sports stuff? That's what we doing? And so now he's pissed off. I'm like, she wasn't your woman. Y'all just have sex. And if you can't have sex without feelings and emotions, you don't need to be having sex with that person, especially if that's your ex and you still have feelings when y'all end it, okay? Let that shit go. This big bitch of a man get in his car pouting and being pissed off, goes through the cars, and, you know, that same look that he had when he thought that Professor Milgram was up there messing around with Tariq or saying some cute little stuff to Tariq, he goes to Tariq's car in the thing, rips it up, and writes something else on it. Now, I'm sitting here like, what's going on the cars, okay? Oh, next scene, Professor Milgram is telling the kids, you know, they talking about the 48 laws of powers and what it means to them. You know, it could be mean good versus evil or good, bad, and whatever, and talking about business stuff and blah blah blah, whatever. So they get the card. Okay, she passed out the cards with their individual names on it, and they supposed to partner up. And the assignment is they need to use this book, 48 Laws of Power, to actually get their partners to reveal the secret that is on the card. So it's a secret on the card. They can't just say it to each other, because if you do, you fail. But you have to get it out your partner, and if whoever gets it out of their partner first gets the A, you know? And so I'm like, okay, what is the secret that Jabari put on the paper for Tariq? Next thing I know, you know, Tariq he did get a text or whatever. I think he was supposed to be meeting up with Braden because Riley is supposed to be at NYU at 2 and all this stuff. He was standing outside looking and at the meeting place or whatever. He was supposed to be meeting up with whoever. And he winds up seeing, and I'm talking about Tariq, he winds up seeing Riley comes out. And he like, this is interesting. Let me follow her. So he goes to follow her to a courthouse, and she's on trial or whatever because of the weed, that charge that she had that they talked about earlier in the season when we first saw her, discharged for having weed, and she was waiting for her uncle, or I mean her lawyer, to come and be there. And who's the lawyer? Saxe. And Tariq sees this, so now he's like, oh shit, we can't work with this girl. I mean, this girl definitely can't be around. He already told Braden he has a problem with her being in the room, especially when he's not there. He don't want her with her at all. But Braden don't seem to understand that, okay? And so when he comes into the room, Tariq tries to tell him that, you know, Riley tried to get at me and I was fighting her off or whatever when we was at Trace's party. You can ask Trace and anybody else, they'll tell you the truth and all this stuff. And he was telling him this is the truth. He was like, Braden, of course, because he already is in love with this girl, has his feelings hurt. You know, he like, why would you even say something like that? You supposed to be my boy. You said you weren't gonna lie to me. You know, I can't trust you and all this stuff. So his feelings hurt and everything messed up on that end. And I'm just like, man, this is some bullshit. Next thing you know, Tariq get a text from Jabari telling him to come to his office. Jabari is all aggressive like, but trying not to be aggressive. He's very passive aggressive, you know, asking Tariq where was he in the morning, yesterday morning, and all this stuff. And he was like, well, I was at the library. Well, now I know you're lying because the library was closed for a fixture or whatever. And he was like, well, I must have forgot. And he was like, you know what did Professor Milgram say to you? Okay, because I just want to know. Yesterday he was like, well, she was just interested in just saying sorry and all that stuff about me not getting the canonical fellowship nomination. And it was like, you know, she just seems a little interested. And the way that Tariq said it, it wasn't like, oh, interested in me sexually or whatever, but like too involved in him trying to get this scholarship or whatever. That's what he meant to like. And Jabari took it upon himself to make this an opportunity for Tariq to get a second chance and to get back at Professor Milgram. Tariq to get a second chance to get into this canonical studies by... And of course, Tariq would do anything. That's exactly what he said. I'll do anything. So he told him, write a paper about a love interest, you know, about the nature and the power of love, or somebody, the nature of power, the nature of power, and put in there a love interest, you know, like make it real. And I mean, I want all the details. I mean, very, very detailed. And I'm sitting here like, you dirty bastard. Because when we first see him, he's sitting down there with his old book that he had that went, that was so successful. And he putting it down. And now he's trying to figure out what to write because he still has to write his follow-up book. Okay. And so he's only on chapter 6. After all this time, he's just now starting chapter 6 and he's stuck. So now he's about to use Tariq yet again, okay, to write this shit for him. And I am livid. Fucked up. Which comes into play kind of because now we know that Tariq is in a triangle of himself with Lauren and Diane. Mind you, he was a partner with Lauren, okay, And, you know, they was fussying around or whatever. She was trying to get her little, her notebook back, her iPad back from him, you know, because, you know, he was trying to get her to tell him her secret or whatever that was on the card. And so they was fooling around. He had fell back on the bed. She had got on the bed. Some dude had came in there and threw some condoms in there earlier. So she up there on top of him trying to get the stuff back and all this shit. And then who comes into the door? Malcolm. This bitch comes in the door, don't say nothing, takes his phone out and start taking pictures. I'm just taking pictures so that you can see how much of a fool you're making of yourself. I said, are you serious? Me and Tariq looking like, damn, nigga, don't you go to school? Why you all the way here? Don't you have school up in Georgetown? Why are you here? Okay? And so, he was like, Lauren tried to talk. And he said, hold on. First of all, men here are talking. And then when Tariq called him a nigga, he was like, you as an educated black man would probably, I thought you would know not to call no other person a nigga because I ain't no nigga. Okay? And at this point, you know, Tariq said, listen, I'm going to let you handle all this that you got to handle, okay? I'm going to go do what I got to do. He leaves out by Lauren, and then he says to Malcolm, bye, nigga. Later, nigga. And so, of course, you know, he was like, you're making a fool of yourself and all this stuff. She was like, no, bitch, the only fool that's here is you, okay? You're doing way too much, and we are over. We are done. This is over. I said, it's about time. That man would have been trying to control Lauren and probably would have been like, okay, I got you in college. I know you college educated, but I don't want you to put any use to that degree. I just want you to stay home and have our kids. That's the type of nigga that he looked like. Lauren, don't take his ass back. Fuck your parents and what they say. So now it's time for Tasha to go to court. We're in court. She had already called Tariq and told him, don't show up, okay? I don't think you need to show up, especially since, you know, they know your name and all that stuff or whatever. And so it's time for Davis and Saxe to do their magic, what they supposed to be doing, putting doubt in people's heads on both sides or whatever, while still making it seem like they are actually working and doing the job that they supposed to be doing and not working together. And so, you know, Saxe, you got I back there with putting pressure on him. Saxe got the witness Paz up on the stand. And, you know, Tasha was surprised about that. But, you know, you have, what's his face? Davis was trying to calm her down, like, it's okay. She's you know, she's harmless, okay? We don't need to worry about her. And so when she get up there on the stand, at first Saxe was taking it a little easy on her. Do you know this? Do you know that? Do you know Tasha? Blah, blah, blah. And then he sees Ak, you know, kind of make this type of noise to get him on track to like, you need to come on with this, all right? And so basically what Saxe winds up doing is saying stuff that put doubt in Paz's mind, okay? You know, Paz told the court or told the cops that she said that Ghost was the one who killed her sister, okay? And then, you know, saying that Angela didn't really like Ghost. Tasha had an issue with Angela because of the situation that was going on between Angela and Ghost, okay? And now you're putting out there that you don't think it was Ghost that killed your sister. It was Tommy Egan. She made sure everybody know that was Tommy Egan. This is different from what she told last time to the cops. So, of course, Saxe had to point that out. And then, you know, realizing that it was Tasha that told her this, so now he's using that against her. Why is it that she's the last woman standing? All of a sudden, first you said it was Ghost, then you said it was Tommy. I go try to go get Tommy, but Tommy is not there, and then Ghost is dead, and now you got money from an estate from Ghost and all this, so now you can open up your salon, and then would Tasha probably tell you this to get stuff off her back and everything, and so to make you think stuff, you know, right now what he just did is put reasonable doubt, because now she's like, yeah, she could have did that. So now Tasha is a little nervous, okay? McLean, he's pissed off, and so he told Tasha, don't worry about it, because he don't know who he fucking with. So he get up there and basically flip the whole thing on his head too, okay? To make it seem like, you know, you were lying. How do you do this and how do you do that, but then come to this conclusion that it had to been Tasha that did this when you was cool with Tasha when this happened and all that stuff. So basically, they're playing ping pong. They playing ping pong ping pong, okay? They going back and forth, all right? And they doing this little dance trying to make it look like they're actually trying to do their jobs. And they're really, laying it into pause just to prove their points, okay, to make it look like it. Meanwhile, Kane was supposed to go and to this drop that they doing up for the redistribution, the re-up, okay? And he on his way, I guess he was walking to his car, and then the cop pulled up and was like, Kane Tejada, you need to come with us, okay? And so Diane is trying to wait for him and trying to reassure Monet that he's coming. He said he's coming. So, if he said he's coming, I believe him. And she was like, he better. Next thing you know, she texting him, trying to see where he's at. No response because she had called him. It went straight to voicemail. So Tariq had texted her, trying to see what's up with the situation, with the re-up. And so she was like, actually, I need you to come down to the bar where they doing this at, and I need you to come right down. Okay. Meanwhile, we get Braden. He comes down the steps at the school, and he runs into his brother Trace. And, of course, he's kind of pissed off or whatever. And Trace trying to tell him, I don't know what you got going on with Tariq and what he got you into. He was like, I ain't even fucking with him right now. He was like, you need to get up underneath that, from over that. I know he crazy or whatever. Nigga just tried to tell me that my girl was trying to push up on him at my party. He was like, listen, not to defend him, but that was the truth, okay? He wasn't lying about that because I've seen that with my own eyes. Trace just want him to stop doing whatever he doing with Tariq. This further pisses right now. I said, oh, poor little Bray, you getting played, okay? You getting played. We got Drew and no, not Drew, but yeah, they all at the bar, okay? We got Monet upstairs and Diane and Tariq downstairs or whatever. Let me tell you something, little Diane, you getting on my nerves, all right? You getting on my nerves. I don't know how old you are. We know that Tariq just turned 18, but baby girl, you acting real youngin', okay? And you just know. You not nobody woman, okay, at this point. Tariq is not your man. And just because y'all almost kissed or whatever, y'all never said, bitch, I want you to be my girlfriend, I want you to be my boyfriend or whatever. So if he had another bitch up in his room, he had another bitch up in his room. You need to let that go, okay? Like your mama said, let this just be about business. Don't open your legs to this little boy, okay? That's what you don't need to do. She going all up while they in the midst of talking. He gets a phone call from Professor Milgram talking about the canonical studies again. She getting on my nerves, okay? She a little bit too involved, like he said. Diane taking it upon herself to go through his bag, seeing all the condoms in his bag, seeing that secret. The secret is a professor at Stansfield is sleeping with a student. I said, oh, you know what, Jabari, you is something else, okay? You is a mess. You gonna figure this out, Scooby-Doo ass. Anyway, so I'm sitting here like, Diane, what you about to tell this boy? So you up here talking to somebody else? That's what you doing? That's who was on the phone? I said, Diane, stop it. Stop it. Girl, I want to like you. Stop it. Stop being so stupid. He was like, first of all, that was my professor. Second of all, when you came over there to the dorm, one no girl up in the room, that was for me. That was Braden's girlfriend. She was there waiting for him. That's all that was going on with that. Okay. So you mean you weren't trying to play me to the left? No, I like your ass, girl, but I'm just saying this business and shit like that. Next thing you know, they kissing down there, whatever. Monet waiting for Drew to come. He never shows. And so old boy that's delivering the drugs, they usually get it from Drew or give it to Drew, he shows up and he ends up trying to play Monet. Okay, Monet said, I only got half. I need the pills and I only need half the coke. That's all I'm taking. He said, well, I ain't get that memo, and either way, I'm leaving with all the money that I'm supposed to leave with, okay? And so at this point, he was being real disrespectful. Monet was like, I don't give a fuck who Rico is, but I'm Monet Tejada. He said, bitch, I don't give a fuck, okay? Next thing you know, they struggling. A knife come out. He tried to get big and bad with Monet, okay, slapped her down and all that shit. I said, what you trying to do? All right, this some street shit. It got hood real quick. And I was like, oh shit, Monet, get up. Okay, the knife then went over there to him, and then Tariq and them, they hear what's going on downstairs. They come upstairs. What the fuck is going on? And so at this point, Monet pulled the gun out and shot our boy. She a little pissed that Tariq is there because she didn't tell him to come there. And, she had to talk to Diana about that because Kane never showed up. Kane was arrested. You know, he a little hot as it is on the street because of the little robberies that he's been committing. And so that's the reason why he was arrested. And he calling people, they not answering the phone. So he had no choice but to call Ramirez to get him out of it. And he wound up telling Ramirez, because Ramirez is pissed off at him, you know, for what he's doing, you know. And so to get back, he like, well, you know, I'm doing this because Monet is trying to push me out. She up there letting, you know, trying to change the business and put it up there in Stansfield with that Tariq nigga. Tariq St. Patrick. See, she ain't even let you in on it. You know, so he put doubt up in in his mind. So when, you know, they needed Kane to help dispose of old boy body. You know, so they called Drew, and Tariq said, I can do it. And so they made it look like he got shot through the window. Tariq acting like this the first time he ever had blood on him or whatever. So, you know, he was a little shook, you know. And that's what wound up happening with that. And when Kane come back to the house finally, you know, Ramirez was just confused about everything. Kane was upset that Tariq was the one that they used to help clear the mess up. I said, boy, you should have been there, okay? That's your fault. You know, looking at him like, see, pushing us out. Meanwhile, Braden then broke up with Riley because Riley won't tell him the truth, okay? Even though she telling him the truth that I wasn't trying to come on to Tariq, but, you know, she can't tell him the full truth, okay, that she undercover, you know. And so that's what wound up happening with that. And then Tariq goes back to his dorm room. Like I said, it's sex week. You got everybody outside in their pajamas or whatever. Lauren at his door, you know, trying to get with him. Finna give him a little taste. Like, I broke up with Malcolm and all this stuff. So what's good? You know, like, what's good with us? They get to kissing. They was about to get it in. And when she goes to open up his jacket, he stops her because he don't want her to see the blood that's on his shirt. And then so to distract her and to get her out of the room because of the blood that's on her shirt, he flips it and try to make it tell her his secret that a professor is sleeping with a student in Stansfield. That's what you wanted, right? First you're talking about Malcolm, you know, you doing all this stuff, and then when Malcolm show up, you change, and now all of a sudden you broke up with him, and now you here. That's what you wanted, right? So of course she's a little confused and she's hurt and she just leaves. And I was like, damn, Tariq, you can't get it from nobody tonight. Fuck. So Tariq, you know, take off his stuff or whatever, and now everybody is coming in at the Professor Milgram's office or whatever, telling people the secret, okay? We got, of course, light-skinned Keisha won. The black guy, the nerdy black guy won. You know, and Ashley Fitzgerald, she won. And then here comes Lauren. You know, she was like, I found out Tariq's secret, but I think it's probably made up because, you know, my secret was peaches, and everybody was given a fruit. That's what they was. They was just trying to figure out what fruit you had. And so she showed her what the secret was, and it stopped Professor in her track. Okay, she was like, thank you, you're going to get full credit. Jabari comes in because now Professor Milgram want to talk to him, okay? He got this senator, I can't stand it, okay? He the type of person you give a little puss to and go crazy no matter what it is, and they just turn possessive, and that's what he's looking like, okay? If I can't have you, nobody else can. And he thinking that he got her and, you know, got her all figured out, and now she really has to talk to me now. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this. I already know that you sleeping with Tariq St. Patrick. You need to leave him alone. Stop doing what you doing. Woo woo. She was like, listen, bitch, I'm not sleeping with Tariq, okay? And what you're doing is manifesting and projecting the shit that's going on with yourself, because you're the one that's actually sleeping with your TA, okay? Granted, she may be of age and adult and consenting, but you are still sleeping with her. And this is your writing that was in there. And so therefore I can give this to the head of the dean, okay, and I can get your ass fired if you don't leave me the fuck alone. So she didn't flip that on him, okay? I said, not too fucking smart, Jabari. He was like, you know what? you doing the same thing that you doing to Melissa that you did to me. And the way that she sound like is he's older than her, and he used his influence. The reason why he got this job was because of the success of that book, or the fact that he was an author, whatever. He used his charm and stuff to get to where he needs to go, and his influence to get girls and stuff like that. And he used it on her, and so a mess. She just told him to leave her the fuck alone, okay? Or I'm gonna turn your ass in. I'm like, Jabari, this is still me too. You know what I'm saying? We still doing that. You calm down a little bit, all right? Because you being a little stalkerish and you just being weird right now. Meanwhile, Monet trying to figure out what did her man do to hold on. What her man did to they son. Okay. And he was like, I just told him, you not a man. Okay, this is what Papa Tejada is saying. You not a man. She said, listen, leave my son alone. You up in there. He's mine now. Okay, ain't nobody tell you to put your hands on him or whatever. You ain't have to do that. Got this nigga out here running crazy. Okay, that's what you got him doing. Meanwhile, Saxe and McClain, they still fucking around with each other. He said the only reason why I had to go so hard was because I was behind me, grilling me and all this stuff. But, we still gonna, I got some information on Tariq to still take him down. We don't know what it is. And I'm sitting here like, damn, they just so hell-bent on getting Tariq. I just really want to see how this gonna play out. And if this is gonna, I hope it looks like it's going to be going till the end of the season. So, like, probably the season finale, we'll find out if Tasha going to get out or not. Next thing you know, Brayden comes in trying to apologize to Tariq about the little girl and boo, 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 I'm over her, blah, 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 whatever. Tasha gets a visit from Paz and was trying to tell Paz, listen, I know what old boy tried to make it seem like on that stand, but you was the only one that was going through the same thing that I was going through, and we was going through the trenches together. Oh, no, let me go back. What he had on Tariq is Epiphany. Oh, girl, the stripper girl that they was using to distribute drugs at the strip club. I said, oh, no, because he was using her, too, okay? So, yeah, that's what he had on her. I mean, on Tariq. But, anyway, don't Tiffany look like Katie? Okay, Candy. How you say her name? Candy or Katie? She a comedian on Twitter and Instagram. She is hilarious. When she redid that Dear Stan and she did it, I think like Dear Beyonce or whatever. That shit was funny. Okay, she is hilarious to me. So that's what was going on. And then Tasha was talking to Paz like, yeah, girl, we in the trenches together. Like, we sisters, okay? We both were suffering. We both single moms. I did what I had to do for you to set you up and get you to where you at. And, Paz was telling her, listen, whatever you got to say, you need to say it because you need to get out. You still got a chance to get out. And that's how it ended, okay? She said Angela was a little bit too late, but bitch, you still got a chance. But anyway, that was, Power. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about the episode and how y'all liking the season so far and what you think is going to happen in the next 3 episodes, okay? And I'll see you guys later. Peace.